it's different when you're doing it in the bedroom or doing it in front of people. It's totally different
because you said it. I couldn't be adult. I couldn't be mature about that. I had
you
to
thought about something. You dirty boy. Your dirty mind, huh? But yeah, it's different doing it in the bedroom and doing it in front of people.
Welcome back to another episode of The Clever DJ. I'm going to give you a quick intro to those who are listening to us or watching us for the first time on YouTube or any of the other platforms. My name is Ilia. I've been DJing for about 2 years now. I was a bartender who then met this guy beside me and told him, hey man, just teach me how to DJ. I have the gear. I'm not really getting it. Come on, take me on and I'll make your business better. And kind of became your photographer, videographer. But then we focus more on the DJ stuff.
Yeah.
I do a variety of events and less of the stuff that Nino does. But you go ahead.
Okay, so I'm a professional DJ. I've been DJing for more than 20 years. Started off with live events, more like clubs and stuff, bars. Now I'm doing more private events and weddings primarily with a roster of 15 DJs under my company. So that's just a little bit about me.
Yeah. And once I get into the wedding stuff myself, I can take over. And you don't have to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll do it forever?
No, definitely not forever. But I'll do it as long as I can do it for. And then
DJ Nino.
Even then, if I do decide to retire, I'll probably come back. Somebody will probably, hey, remember you used to DJ? Can you DJ my wedding? I'm like, okay, fine. And then I'll probably come back anyway.
That'd be interesting.
It's always the case. It's usually like that.
So if you didn't guess yet, this is the Banter Podcast. We just chill and talk about life, but everything is somehow tied into DJing. So we talk about DJing, but we just a plethora of subjects, and it's to help beginner DJs and to also entertain beginners and professionals. And we have just a bunch of different people listening to us and watching us. Yeah. So it's for everyone.
The point of view of a beginner and a professional. If you guys have time, if you guys like our stuff, look back at our previous episodes to check them out, right? So there's a lot of good content that we've talked about in the past. So.
Definitely. Today, we're going to cover something that, it's kind of old news, but at the same time, the effect of it is still here, and it's just developing. And it is the fact that bedroom DJs pretty much are taking over the scene. And it's for just a variety of reasons, which we're going to cover, and just kind of how it affects the DJs who started the way you did, Nino. Yeah. Or, you kind of started live. Yes, you practice at home, but the main stage was going to gigs,
in front of like a crowd, right? So it's different when you're doing it in the bedroom or doing it in front of people. It's totally different
because you said it. I couldn't be adult. I couldn't be mature about that. I had
you thought about something. You dirty boy. Your dirty mind, huh? But yeah, it's different doing it in the bedroom and doing it in front of people. Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't see it properly either without laughing.
But it is, because like most DJs, I'm not going to say most DJs. People are going to be like, oh, you said most DJs. Lots of DJs now, they get the gear, get it from their computer, unless it's an all-in-one, and that's it. That's how they practice, and that's how they perform for the longest time. Then maybe they'll go online, and at some point, some of them decide to do live gigs, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's really affecting the industry because it's affecting the quality, the whole sales process, and how it devalues some of us. And I'm not really talking about myself as much because I'm kind of in between. A lot of my DJing is at home because I'm practicing, but I'm not a bedroom DJ. right? I did it to get out there.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been really affecting you and people like you. Well, maybe not you because you already have an established business, but people who have been there for a couple of years or 4, 5, 10 years.
I think a lot of the club scene is affected, especially because these bedroom DJs do a lot of. They realize that they practice at home and then they can do like routines and stuff, and then they get online and they do routines, and then people are like, "Woo, so great, amazing," and then they get recognition for that, right? And then they start getting booked. Like people are looking at their followers and just all their comments, and they're like, "Whoa, this guy has a following and whatever. He's popular online," and that's the thing now. They're getting a lot of recognition from that stuff, and then but.
Exactly.
It doesn't translate well when you go on live, right? Online is different. There's nobody around you. You can be recording on like Twitch, and then you'd be doing it. It doesn't even feel like people are watching you potentially, but it still doesn't feel like you're doing it in front of people. You're still nonchalantly just DJing, right?
You're gonna stick to doing it.
There's no pressure. Like with people watching you, right?
Like DJing, you're gonna say doing it all the time. No. I agree with you to some extent, because I don't know if you remember what it's like when I went on Instagram for the first time live. I was DJing and I knew that it wasn't like the best back then, and then I saw 2 people start watching, and man, I started sweating.
No, to some extent, you'll still get.
Like, what if they think I'm really bad?
You'll feel it, right? Yeah.
And just so happens, one of them was a DJ who has a huge business in the US, and then the other one is a DJ that's local here, and he knows I started DJing, but he didn't hear my stuff before. Mm-hmm. And then the first time 2 years ago, he goes on Instagram, and that's the first impression. So I did like 4 or 5 transitions, and then I just ended it. I ended the stream like, okay, let me quit on a high note here. So, but you're right. For the most part, it's gonna be. You have somewhere to. You can quit. You can close it. You can come back.
Yeah, and you can turn it off, right? And then you can choose not to let them watch or whatever, right? You have to control. But when you're there live in front of people, you have no choice but to show up, right? And sometimes your nerves get the best of you, but you have that live experience already. It's totally different.
And I wouldn't say it's just nerves. It's just like you lack some of the core skills that are required to run such an event, to make such an event successful.
Yeah.
So if it's like more like an electronic or like night or something like very niche based, something like maybe a rap night, and you're just very good at it because you've been doing that for a while, and the scene that people.
Yeah, you're comfortable with it.
You'll probably be fine. But if it comes to a wedding or some other like more intricate gig, even if you've done all that type of music, you have no skills of dealing with people.
No,
unless you have it from somewhere else.
Yeah,
right?
I've seen bedroom DJs who do cool transitions and then online, but then when they do it live, get no reaction. So it's like online they're like, woo, everybody's like fire emoji, but then when they're on live it's like there's no reaction, so it doesn't translate well.
Crowd.
It's a different crowd, right? Sometimes they don't appreciate stuff like that, right? You got to get more. You have to play what they like, right, and make it more obvious. Sometimes the transitions go over their heads, right, because they're just normal people. So people want to hear the song as it was originally played or made.
Yes, and or maybe they're just not. There's just a certain type of Twitch. Like a stream crowd who will react different. It's a different community, right?
Yeah.
So
and a lot of them are DJs too, right? So they relate to that stuff, those transitions, because they want to do stuff like that too.
Yeah, you're in a different field now, so it's a different playground. So you're probably going to get different reactions, and so really, there's so much more we can say as an intro to the situation. This still feels kind of like an intro because the details are. Why is this happening? Like,
Why?
let's get into why is this happening. And it's obviously COVID. The pandemic was a big part of it.
Yeah, we were forced to go online. No live events at all for like, what, 2 years almost?
Yeah,
So,
give or take. There were some things you could do.
I was still doing gigs.
I can't believe that people said back in the day. I remember going to my a close friend of mine. She was getting married, and at her wedding we couldn't dance more than a certain number of people on the dance floor.
Yes.
And if you came without a significant other, you'd have to sit somewhere else.
Yes.
It was so weird,
bro. There was one gig where I was DJing at. They had bubbles of circles, like only the person that you came with can be in the bubble, and they had like 5 bubbles.
Wait, actual bubbles?
Yeah, like they made a tape with the circle
I thought
around
it was
it.
an actual.
No. I mean, you can only dance in that area. Don't go close to the other bubbles, right? So
that's crazy. I would wait.
I'm like, wow.
And get married later, but nobody knew.
Wow, yeah. How long? Nobody knew how long this was gonna last, right?
So that's the first reason. Now, why is it so easy for them to actually do it? Is because lots of people had nothing to do during that time.
Yeah.
People were unemployed, or people finally had a lot more time to do other things because they weren't in traffic or doing something else. People just took on to hobbies. So a lot of musicians were like, let me become a DJ.
Yeah.
And then here you are, 50 million new DJs just got created overnight.
It became very accessible for people. They wanted relief, right? And they kind of missed those events, those music. So people would watch those DJs online, and the DJs would go online because they had nothing else to do alive, right? So it was like a kind of like a give and take sort of thing. Like the people would want to watch someone.
Oh, so you're talking about actual people who were already DJs.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who became
that too.
DJs,
and I'm talking about like the crowd. So people were craving music around that time, like live music.
Yeah.
So people would watch them and support the DJs.
There were so many like gigs raided, right, by police and stuff. But because people like it's tough to contain people for so long and tell them not to do something, right? And the other thing is, I'm not saying it happened overnight. Even before COVID, the stuff wasn't that expensive if you want to get into it. But it became more, like you said, accessible to people. Even the gear, it's not that expensive if you want to get into it.
Controller, literally like $200, less than even, like smaller ones. Music is everywhere online.
Yeah.
Very accessible.
Even if you pay for it, it's really cheap. You should be paying for it. Now,
speakers are very inexpensive as well.
Yeah, you can get like the cheaper kind,
and
right?
You don't even need to buy them. You can rent them.
And lots of businesses clued in on what people are doing. So they created an easier way to rent or obtain through like free financing. I mean, like 0% financing, and just other, promotional methods of how to get people into certain industries. One of them,
it made it easier
DJing.
for DJs. But then at the same time, a lot of big DJ companies actually closed down at the same time too, because of the lack of live events.
Really lots of businesses,
DJing, not just DJs. A lot of DJs, a lot of companies had to pivot, right? Close down and do something else.
So this led to market saturation.
So many DJs out there.
And once again, if you're good, like that's what I'm going to say now before we get to the end of the podcast. If you're good, then sure, it's challenging, but you're still going to get your work.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe even more than before. It really depends, right? Like for me, the COVID years, like when it just hit from 2020 to 2021, 2022, were a couple of the best years in my life, from in some like professional perspectives, right? I got to get into certain like hobbies. It wasn't DJing exactly yet, but I got more into like production and stuff like that, and I improved myself in so many ways. And then I got promoted at work, and like got better positions and stuff like that. Got paid more. So I was like, you know what? I have all this extra money now. Let me invest into something, and I'm home like all the time. What?
Just joking. Give me some money.
Yeah, give me some money, Mister. I have 50 gigs a month, or I don't know how many.
Give you some money.
But that also pretty much is the rise of bedroom DJs created how do you say it? Democratization. It's pretty much a democracy of, if you want to get into this, you can, because everyone's allowed. Everyone has the access to it.
It's a good thing, right? That because honestly, I've read some statistics.
We're really struggling.
That
Democratization statistics.
That a lot of what's it called? 30 and 40, 50-year-olds are starting to get into DJing for the first time. Like, this was just from the past couple of years, and the pandemic. I'm sure the pandemic really just fueled that a lot faster, but the statistics are great. That's a good thing. That's amazing thing for the DJ community, right? More people will appreciate the craft, and they're starting to like what they do, right? So it's a good thing. I think it is, right? But at the same time, you want to stand out from the rest too, right?
But that's what I like about this. This also led to diversity.
Yes.
That's one thing that I'm all for, because now DJs, all these no names who got to practice for 2-3 years behind closed doors, decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my skills live. I'm going to take it outdoors.
And kudos to them for actually doing it.
It's not easy to do, right?
It's not easy to do.
So now, because of their specific kind of skill set and how they saw DJing is, and how they did it, they brought in other skills to the field, and they're doing things differently, shaping it differently, which is affecting everything and everyone. And if it's good, it's great, right? If it's not, it kind of dies out.
It's a revolution. This digital aspect now, it's showed that it's going in that direction, right? Even as club DJs, they had the recognition from before. They're getting on Twitch now too. They're getting to do routines on Instagram now too. It's just the way it's evolving, the actual industry. So it's a good thing.
Lots of success stories. When we were writing this podcast episode, when we were preparing it, I was thinking, let me see how many people actually became popular before anyone knew about them, because they were just bedroom DJs, producers. Just dozens of them, dozens of names. I'm going over all the names, and you can just write it down. Bedroom DJs who became popular over the recent years.
You can Google it, right?
And there's so many that I don't even know about, and it shows their career, and they're telling their story. I went on Reddit, and they have the Ask Me Anything thread there, and they're talking about how they mainly had the chance to get into that industry because they had a lot more time during the pandemic. Yeah. So it happened before, but there was a huge rise during the pandemic because you were literally home 24/7 at some point.
Literally took advantage of it, right?
Yeah. So that's that. So when you think about the saying quality over quantity, you realize that it doesn't matter how many DJs are out there.
Doesn't matter.
At the end of the day, if you can prove that you're the quality DJ that client is looking for, it doesn't matter how many people just got into the industry, the saturation and everything, right? You have a strong business, but if you're just building for the first time, you have to show why you stand out live, why you're different. And that's kind of, in my opinion, the future outlook I have on this, where if a client reaches out to you and you're lucky enough to have someone kind of solicit you instead of the other way around, you have to explain, or whether you are the one, you have to explain why that person who's charging them $400, who has no, online presence of him actually being at gigs or her being at gigs, but you can see that they're streamers or whatever, may not be able to bring the quality to their live event, especially a wedding or something as intricate as that. It doesn't have to be a wedding, but we usually talk about that. Now, again, I'm sure a lot of bedroom DJs are listening to us. A lot of, and nothing against that, but if you don't have the skills of doing a live event, you can't charge as much, right? And on top of that, if you do have it, it's easy for you to prove why you should be the one taking that gig. And that's, I think, what you should focus on.
Kudos to you for building those transitions and gigs online. But the fact of the matter is, you need to be doing live events to actually level up your DJing, because it's all about playing in front of people. DJing is literally reading people and playing for them and making them dance. So that's what you got to do, right? It's a totally different thing. But I know a lot of club DJs that are griping on Bedroom DJs, saying, "Why are these guys getting all these gigs now? They can't play live, but they're making transitions. When they get on live, the club DJs are like." They don't really understand a lot of. Okay, so to make it clear, we're not talking about all bedroom DJs and streamers. We're talking about the ones who kind of just do it as a hobby, and they don't know the etiquette, and they don't know how things are done live, how things are done when you're DJing with other people, all of that stuff. There's no knowledge of DJing other than the actual playing the music. And then they could get booked for a live event, and then they bomb. Pretty much, right?
Whether it's their client relations or the other DJs they're dealing with, that's what that's what. So there's that, because I feel like the crosshairs is on me. Are you speaking against bedroom DJs? Like, we're like half of your listeners are bedroom DJs, but I'm talking about the fact that there's a clear divide between people who do it as a hobby and then decide, let's go live, let's make money.
Yeah.
And people who actually practice to be live DJs, to go and play in clubs,
like
to go play in bars, weddings, birthdays, etc.
They have that knowledge to play in front of people. So when they see a bedroom DJ crash and fail, they're like, yeah. Inside they're like, see, I knew it.
You're evil. I would never feel like that.
But then now,
no.
Yeah, no. But veteran DJs are like, they're like, these bedroom DJs are taking their work, like literally. So that's why they're kind of like hurt. Like,
you took my job.
You took my job. But now it's the wave of the future, man. You gotta be doing online stuff. So and club DJs are doing stuff like that now, getting more online marketing and stuff. So hey, time to wake up. You have to have a little bit of both, online and live stuff. So
yes. Learn both skill sets. Continue practicing at home. That's very necessary, but learn what is required of you when you actually go to a live event. Yeah. Whatever venue you're interested in, whatever type of gigs you like to be a part of. There are lots of things that are important to know aside from playing the music. So yeah, lots of things have changed in the last 5 years. Can you believe it's been 5 years?
It's been 5 years.
5+ years. The COVID cases start kind of like showing up in 2019, end of 2019, right?
Yeah.
But like we said, it's not just COVID. It's just there was always the whole bedroom DJ phenomena where you see people are showing up in the industry in live gigs with zero experience at a pretty big gig where it requires a certain touch, a certain type of knowledge.
Yeah.
And that is what we're focusing on in this episode. We're focusing on the fact that if you are doing this as a hobby and you're treating this as just something, to play music for fun, and you're not focusing on all the skills of being a DJ and dealing with the crowd, dealing with the clients, running the business, then you're up for a rude awakening.
Yeah. Make sure if you're doing live online stuff and you have success online, make sure you try to get at least a couple of live gigs, right?
Yes, exactly.
You've
been saying that a lot.
At least with your friends, right? Just to get it playing in front of people, right?
Get that feel, that a person coming up to you, interrupting, telling you certain things,
requesting songs from you, requesting a song with their phone in your face,
or getting drunk and just deciding, this is a good time to talk to you.
You need that live aspect, man, for it to translate well live, right?
Yeah. So if let's say you're a bedroom or whatever DJ, like you stream and you never really had the live aspect. You never really experienced the live aspect of the job, of this career, but you have it from other kind of experience in the past, or you haven't been doing it, but you've been like learning about it. Then yeah, that's a different thing. Then that's pretty much what I've been doing, right? I've been learning, practicing, taking a couple of courses, but then the whole goal was to end up doing it live. Yeah.
Events.
So how did you get affected by the whole last 4 or 5 years of COVID and the surplus of bedroom DJs coming to the market and the oversaturation?
Let us know
DJing?
your experiences in this past couple of years, and what your take is on this actual subject. If you have anything to say, did you think we're spot on, or
All right. Well, have a great one. Thank you for joining another episode of A Clever DJ.
See you guys in the next one, guys.
See you in the next one.
Peace.